Earlier this week, Putin and President Trump had a phone call. Vice President J.D. Vance met with President Zelenskyy. Even the Pope might be getting involved. Prisoners are being exchanged. But now recently, Russia is bombing Kyiv with drones. In today's English lesson, we are going to talk about the war in Ukraine. We will watch a news clip with some very advanced vocabulary that you might see on the IELTS or TOEFL exam, or even if you are having a conversation with a native English speaker. We will talk about the term attempt. We will talk about what a bloodbath is. And spoiler alert, it's not good. We will talk about what progress is. You will learn the verb emerge. And of course, we will have to talk English phrasal verbs like pull back and back away. If that sounds interesting to you, please go ahead and hit that like button and let's watch that news clip together.
In a new attempt to stop what he calls a bloodbath, President Trump spent more than 2 hours on the phone Monday with Russian leader Vladimir Putin.
My little conversation with a nice gentleman named Vladimir Putin. Actually, we had a good talk, and I think that progress is being made.
For each of the terms they use in the newscast, I will have the official definition, and then I will use it in a sentence or two to help you understand the meaning. Attempt. That means a try to do something. Trump made another attempt to bring peace between Russia and Ukraine. And unfortunately, it looks like that attempt has failed again. But on to happier news. Take a look at that picture. You can see a baby who is trying or attempting to walk. The baby made an attempt to walk without help. And it looks like she is being successful. It looks like she has taken a couple steps. Take a look at this picture. This woman does not look happy. It looks like she has some cookies on a cookie tray, but they look pretty burnt. My first attempt at baking cookies did not go well. This next one is not fun to talk about, but sometimes you have to talk about bad things in English. A bloodbath is a situation where many people are killed. In that picture, I literally have a bathtub full of some red liquid, but a bloodbath is usually used as an idiom. Zelenskyy warned that a new attack could turn into a bloodbath. And a real quick note to anyone watching from Ukraine, I hope wherever you are, it is safe, and I hope this war can end as soon as possible. In other words, I hope progress is being made towards peace. Progress, it means moving forward or improving. Leaders said there was some progress after the phone call between Trump and Putin. I'm sure this is true for you. You have made great progress in learning English. Keep it up. Nice job. Take a look at the photo. It looks like this woman is having trouble walking. Maybe she got into an accident, but the doctor said, I'm making good progress. Hopefully she is on her road to recovery.
In a new attempt to stop what he calls a bloodbath, President Trump spent more than 2 hours on the phone Monday with Russian leader Vladimir Putin.
My little conversation with a nice gentleman named Vladimir Putin. Actually, we had a good talk, and I think that progress is being made.
Mr. Trump last week said he hoped a ceasefire would emerge from the call, and on the campaign trail vowed to end the war within 24 hours of taking office. Now calling for the two sides to, quote, immediately start negotiations towards a ceasefire and, more importantly, an end to the war, and suggesting that the U.S. may pull back.
I think something's going to happen, and if it doesn't, I'd just back away, and they're going to have to keep going. Again, this was a European situation.
Emerge. It is a verb, and it means to come out or become known. A new peace plan started to emerge after the talks in Rome. And in that picture, it looks like the sun is emerging from behind those mountains. We have another verb here, vowed, vowed. That means promised strongly. J.D. Vance vowed to support a peaceful solution. We often use the verb vow when we talk about marriage in English. He vowed to love his wife forever. Please let me interrupt this English lesson for just a few seconds. I want to remind you that through the summer, I am offering private one-on-one English conversations to help you improve your English speaking. If you would like more information about this, check out the comment section. There you will find a link with more information. Now back to the English lesson. Pull back. We have an English phrasal verb here. It means to move away or reduce military action. Russia agreed to pull back some troops near the border. And sometimes you can literally pull back something. In the picture, that rug is being pulled back from the floor. Back away. It sounds a lot like pull back, but it's not quite the same thing. To back away means to step away or not continue. Ukraine will not back away from protecting its land. And in the picture, we can see a man is carrying a box, almost like he's leaving a job. Maybe he is backing away from the job to spend more time with his family. Trust is very important. Can the world trust Putin? Please let me know in the comments how you feel. But to trust someone means to believe someone is honest or will do the right thing. Trust between the leaders is still low, but growing. I'm not sure if that sentence is true.
Trump also speaking with Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelenskyy twice.
Everybody is very interested in ceasefire. Too many losses. I'm not sure that Russia is ready, and we don't trust them.
Zelenskyy posting this morning, it is obvious that Russia is trying to buy time to continue the war and occupation. President Trump also floating the possibility of peace talks involving Pope Leo.
I think it would be great to have it at the Vatican. Maybe it would have some extra significance.
Obvious. This is review. We have talked about this in the past. Obvious means easy to see or understand. It's obvious that both sides are tired of the war. Here's another sentence using obvious and one of my favorite foods, pizza. It's obvious that the pizza is hot. Look at the steam. Her smile made it obvious that she was happy. When he said nothing, it became obvious he was angry. Floating the idea. I think we have an idiom here. It means gently suggesting something. Pope Leo XIV floated the idea of hosting more peace talks at the Vatican. And if you don't know who Pope Leo XIV is, or you don't know what the Vatican is, don't worry, we will talk about it next. You might also hear tossed around the idea. Leaders tossed around the idea of getting the Pope to help bring peace to Ukraine. A couple weeks ago, I did an entire English lesson on the Pope. I will leave a link to that English lesson in the description. Pope Leo XIV, an American Pope. Can you believe it? The official definition for who Pope Leo XIV is. The new Pope, elected back on May 8th, 2025. Pope Leo XIV met with Zelenskyy and offered to help with the talks. And the Vatican, the city in Rome where the Pope lives. In fact, it's the world's smallest country, Vatican City. The peace talks in the Vatican showed a new level of hope. Earlier in the week, I thought peace between Ukraine and Russia was getting closer. Now I'm not so sure. Significance, that means importance. The call between Trump and Putin had great significance for ending the war. Hopefully, it is a step in the right direction.
But Vice President J.D. Vance, who met with Zelenskyy in Rome on Sunday, says without progress soon, the U.S. may stop pushing peace talks. Vance's weekend meeting in Rome, a stark contrast from that Oval Office encounter in February, when he and the president accused Zelenskyy of being ungrateful.
Have you said thank you once?
You don't have the cards right now.
For his part, President Putin describing Monday's call with Trump as, quote, very constructive, but making no commitments to a ceasefire.
In the newscast, they used the term stark contrast. Let's talk about what that means. A clear and big difference. There was a stark contrast between Putin's tone and Trump's hopeful message. In other words, maybe Trump was talking peace and Putin was talking more war. In the picture, it looks like we have a large city, and in the front of the picture, it looks like those people might not have so much money. In the back of the picture, maybe a little bit more money. Here is a sentence describing that picture. In most large cities, there is a stark contrast between the rich and the poor. Ungrateful. It is an adjective used to describe something, probably a person, and it means not showing thanks. His mom thought he was ungrateful because he never said thank you for the gift. Take a look at that picture there. It looks like a woman has just gotten married. Maybe she said her vows. She promised to love her husband forever, but she received a gift and it looks like she is ungrateful. She is not really thankful for receiving that gift. If something is constructive, it's helpful or positive. The leaders had a constructive conversation during the call. You might also hear something called constructive criticism. Criticism is when you say somebody isn't doing something right, but if it's constructive, that means you're trying to help them. The teacher gave her student some constructive criticism in hopes of helping the student become a better speaker.
When he and the president accused Zelenskyy of being ungrateful.
Have you said thank you once?
You don't have the cards right now.
For his part, President Putin describing Monday's call with Trump as, quote, very constructive, but making no commitments to a ceasefire. And after his calls with Trump yesterday, President Zelenskyy posted online that if Russia isn't ready to stop the war, there must be stronger sanctions put in place to force their hand. Well, this morning, it seems at least some of Ukraine's allies are listening, with Great Britain and the EU each announcing stepped-up economic sanctions against Russia. Asked yesterday if the U.S. would increase sanctions too, the president says he was concerned that that could make the situation worse, but added there could be a time where that's going to happen.
Commitment. We have talked about this recently. A promise to keep doing something. Trump showed commitment to helping end the war. And I used this picture the last time we talked about the verb committed. I'm sure the two men in the picture are committed to having a healthy lifestyle. It looks like they run quite a bit. Committed is the verb, commitment is the noun. You can make a commitment. She made a 5-year-long commitment to becoming a better English speaker. This sentence below is not true for me. I wish it was. I am committed to waking up early every morning and going to the gym. What if you hear force their hand in a newscast or in an English conversation? Well, it means to make someone do something. The growing violence may force Putin's hand to accept a deal. And I also think the EU is forcing bigger sanctions on Russia. That might also force Putin's hand to try to end the war. Allies, that is just another term for like friends, but the official definition is friends or partners in war or politics. Ukraine's allies, including the US, are still supporting them. English phrasal verb alert, stepped up. It means take more responsibility or helped more. JD Vance stepped up and spoke directly to Zelenskyy about the conflict. This sounds like a good son here in the sentence below. Because his parents were sick, he stepped up and made dinner for everyone. Concern. Is this review? Concern, it's worry or fear. There is concern that the peace talks could fail without real action. I hope this has never happened to you after taking an English test. She felt real concern over her latest low test scores. Uh-oh. Take a look at that picture. It looks like we have a mother and a daughter, and that daughter is climbing a tree. The mother watched with concern as her daughter climbed the tree. Yeah, I'm sure that mother was worried her daughter might fall and hurt herself. Congratulations, you made it to the end of another English lesson. Don't forget, if you would like to become my student and have a one-on-one conversation with me, there is a link in the description, also in the comments. And down below is another English lesson YouTube thinks you might like. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.